Here we are, day 5. I've been able to keep it up this long, so that's good news. Yesterday, that beautiful letter I read to you from my friend Helen, I hope that it made you really feel really good about appreciating the simple things around you. And I know I sure have been really looking around and trying to appreciate the simplicity that I usually don't notice, but I try to notice more things and take the time to really take a look and appreciate these beautiful things that we take for granted. So today, I have something that I want to also read to you again, and it's from this book called Sheer Determination. It's the book I wrote about how I built my company and all the ups and downs and uh, the wisdoms I learned. And some of the things in here to me sounds really scary now, but um, that's what I went through. And I wanted to find one chapter in here that I wanted to share with you today. And it's called Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. And this is chapter 9 of my Sheer Determination book. But before I begin, again, I have to always pull a card. My card decks are just really helping me a lot to um, come up with some ideas for classes and things like that. And oh, my hair is just blue today. But anyway, so here's the card. It's called Change. And if you are seeking change, first create change within yourself instead of trying to change others. Your task, ask yourself this question: what kind of change can I create so that goodness will spill out into the world? Your aha moment. You realize that you are taking steps to create a better world by reinventing yourself each day. And this story is really kind of like this card. And I like to read it to you or to tell you the story anyway. Part of it I'm going to read. But it's really about a story. I've been in the beauty industry for a long time. And this is a story about when I was a young stylist. And I was pretty insecure then. I really didn't feel like I could speak English very well. Um, I just didn't have the self esteem. I just never really felt like I was good enough or I was um, as good as others. So I'm working in this salon, and then and they would give me appointments, and it was in a very high end salon in the Broadway area, and I was working as a stylist there. And when I went out to get a client, that they told me that she was here. Her name was Joy. So I went to the reception room to go and say hello and to escort her back to the styling station. And when she raised her eyes and looked at me, I almost keeled over because here was this woman who was so beautiful. I mean, her eyes were blue, her blonde hair was long, and I looked at her and I almost had to turn away because it was hard for me to make eye contact with such a beautiful woman. So I just had to take a deep gulp and escort her back to the chair. And then I asked her, what she wanted to do with her hair. And before I could even finish my sentence, she blurted out by saying how she is not feeling very pretty. And she said that her nose was big and her ears were whatever, it was big too, and she just said that she didn't like the shape of her face, and she just wanted me to make this complete changeover for her. And I thought to myself, oh my God, if I could be only half as beautiful as you, oh my God, the whole world will open up to me. So she told me that she was married at one time, and she wanted to look like that time. And she pulled out a picture and she showed it to me. And I asked her, "Oh, the man next to you, is that your husband?" And she said, "He was my husband. We were married for only 2 years and he took off." And she felt like she had to make a living for herself. So she went and got a job in a law firm. And she said that when she turned 30, she's now 33, but when she turned 32, the law firm let her go. And she told me that I know the reason why they let me go is because they thought that I was getting too old. They wanted to hire somebody younger. And when I was styling her hair, cutting and styling her hair, it helped me to understand that good stylists need to recognize that they are dealing with a complex human emotion called self-esteem as they go about determining the best style and cut for their clients. So that's what it made me really realize. And here was a woman who had failed at her marriage and at her work, and for most of her life, Joy certainly did receive special attention because of her extremely good looks. But now, in her mid 30s, she suddenly found herself feeling that her beauty had faded and she had nothing else to offer the world. She hadn't seen the need to improve her mind or her skills over the years, which led her to become an insecure and unhappy person. So, the most beautiful people in the world will not see themselves as attractive if they lack confidence. As a stylist, a client's self esteem needs to be the template we use to decide how best to cut and style their hair. After working with Joy, I stopped looking at clients in the mirror to figure out what they might look like with a new haircut or a new style. Instead, I talked to each client to learn more about what was going on in their lives and how they viewed themselves. And it just really took this one special person for me to realize that when I look at a person in the mirror, I'm not looking seeing the same thing that they are. And that was just the biggest awakening for me. And since that day, I changed the way that I looked at people and the way I styled their hair completely. And if somebody doesn't feel beautiful inside, they are not going to feel beautiful no matter what I did for her. And I really couldn't bring back 12 years of her life to make her look like what she did then. So what I really wanted to tell her was, but I was too chicken to do it. But what I really wanted to tell her was, Joy, you are just fine. You're beautiful. But the thing that's not there is that you fail to continue to learn lifelong. You just thought that you could get by with your looks, and you then give yourself any motivation to go and keep learning new things and develop her mind. And I think that if she would have done that, she would not be in that spot. So just think about it when we get up in the morning, we get out of bed and we go into the mirror and look and we go, oh my God, I'm so ugly. But the thing that you have to remember is when other people look at you, they're just not looking at your whatever you're looking at that time. They're looking at everything about you. And mostly they look at what you know in your head, how you talk to people, how kind you are, all those things that people see in you, you probably don't see in yourself because we just focus on our physical beauty. And that was one of the biggest things that I learned. And I think that learning that and being aware of people's self esteem is what made me a successful hairstylist. And it's just really interesting as I read this book to think that is so true, about people. It's just that I tell all the people that work, my stylists that work for me, it's in my training that says, do not look at a person as how you see them in a mirror. is how they see themselves, because it's just completely different, and it's up to us to probe and ask questions and really get things out of them that they're not saying. And I think that that is probably a successful trait of everybody else too, other professions, even like doctors. They need to really look at your self-esteem and ask you questions before they determine the diagnosis for whatever that you came in for. So anyway, that's I hope you enjoyed this chapter of my book, and I will sign off now. Thank you. Bye bye.